Welcome back, everybody, to Fun the Locker Room. Sean Rankel, Liam Holloway, Truett Carstetter. Back at it again. Everything in the world of sports for you. Coming to you live from YouTube, originally 89.1 FM, WXVU, Villanova student-run radio. Rankel gave me some insight today about our streaming audience. Apparently, 20% of our streaming audience historically comes from Japan. So, konnichiwa to all of our listeners out there from across the pond. We have a lot to go over today. It is November 11th, 2024. We just finished up week 10, I believe, of the NFL season. The NBA young season, we're a couple weeks in. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But we're going to get right started with our NFL Monday Night Football picks, as we always do. I'll let Rankel kick it off, most because I don't even want to talk about it. You got it, Rank. Rank? I think.
Hey, Rank.
Now it's going to work.
Perfect.
It's working now.
I will start with Liam's fun fact that he liked to graciously share with us last week. Liam has the same number of wins as me and Truett have combined, which
that is true.
To be honest, is more of an indication on Truett than it does on me, I feel like.
Damn.
You threw him under the bus, Rank.
Wasn't expecting that direction out of you. Oh, my God.
Deserved.
Because I have 7 wins and Truett has 3 wins. But our double losses have caught up to us to an extent for both me and Truett, our double or nothings. Truett, have you taken a double or nothing yet?
I don't think I have. No.
Nope. He's just
You haven't. Okay, math works here.
It's in the back pocket. I think I'm going to need it someday. It'll be vital.
Liam is 10-4. He's actually really confident. But as we all know, there are some brutal Thanksgiving Day football games that we'd like to predict that could have a big swing in this, because I don't know if you've looked at the schedule, but those might be the worst slate of Thanksgiving Day football games I've ever seen in my life. So, as somebody said on Twitter, spend time with your family, everybody out there. Liam is 10-4. I am 7-8, and Truett is 3-11 going into tonight's game. A fun one. Dolphins at the Rams. Rams 2.5-point favorites. Kind of feels like a low line to me for the Rams, who have been surging with Nakua and Cooper Kupp back. But Liam, leader of the clubhouse, I'll let you go first.
Yes, I'm going to lead this one off. I know that Truett is going to bet against the Rams. I know that. So for that reason only, just to fade Truett and secure another win, I will be picking the Rams to cover 2.5.
Truett, do you have a response?
You thought wrong, because I was going to choose the Rams because I don't respect, but I fully understand who I'm in the same division with, and I understand the Rams are the much better team here. I don't know why it's a 2.5-point line. Seems like a Vegas trap. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams. Just keep it safe. And Rams have been looking very good as of late, to right those points. They took quick work of the Seahawks in overtime last week. And yeah, that's really all I got at home too.
Am I allowed to jump ship, or is my pick locked in? Or
Yeah, you're locked in.
I was going to let him jump, but yeah, I like that you're locked in.
That's the problem of being first. You have to decide first, and we can play it off you. I have a hard time picking this game because 2.5, as I've said, seems really low. The Rams have really been playing well, and this Dolphins offense doesn't seem to be firing. But it seems, once again, too good to be true, and it seems like a Vegas trap game, which, from our experience, could either mean it's a Vegas trap game or we're just overthinking it. But I'm going to be the one to overthink it, and we're going to take Dolphins plus 2.5.
Yeah,
Rank, there was a win, Rank.
Shut up. there was a point senior year where I remember I was all about the Vegas traps and trying to understand them, and I think that clearly didn't work out for me. So I've abandoned that line of thinking.
Yeah, I'm going to continue your flawed logic.
I'm glad you bring up Thanksgiving, because I like to say, for the first time on the show, I think we should consider Thanksgiving, in the words of Scott Hansen, to be the witching hour for us, where losses become wins and wins become losses. And I think a good sweep for Truett on Thanksgiving Day could really turn the tides here. So I'm looking forward to this Turkey Day.
Yeah, you guys can enjoy your second place trophy. It's gonna be great for you.
All right, Rankle, let's move into the hot takes. What do you got for us from this past week of action?
Yeah, I've reiterated this before, but I feel like the team has fallen off a little bit, and I can say it again. But this Cardinals team is firing on all cylinders. 4 games in a row, absolutely demolished the Jets. Like, you look at this team up and down, the way they can attack teams offensively, like Kyler Murray with his legs, James Conner, Trey Benson, they have like a 3-headed monster with Amari DeMarcado and Marv, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride. Like, this team up and down is so complete and so consistent week in and week out right now. I saw rumors of Kyler Murray being a VP candidate. I'm not ready to go there yet, but this team is winning the NFC West and are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked if we start Cards Lions in the NFC Championship game.
Ooh, Rankle, I love that. I love that. I want to piggyback all over your take, Rank. Their defense was phenomenal against the Jets too. Absolutely phenomenal. If their defense can play half as well as they did, they're going to be in every single game that they play.
Yeah, Rank. We've talked about it before. I think NFC West is going to be a really weird division, just the way it's finishing. You got the top dog in the conference. In the division 6-4. Bottom dogs are 4-5, pending tonight's game. But Rank, to your point, they have a very easy schedule remaining. They play Seattle twice, which you could say that could be a sweep. You also have the Patriots, Panthers in there, and then you finish the year out with the Rams and the Niners. Vikings are in there too. You know, if you give them 3 losses, that puts them at 10-7, which is really, I think in this division could be enough, especially if you get those 2 divisional, if you could flip the tides on those Rams-Niners games at the end. So I don't hate that take, Rick.
There's an exciting team. We talk about exciting teams every year, but the Cardinals feel like one of those teams where it's fun to watch them play football.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be nice. End of season review. Rankle and I are going to have that highlighted in green for us. Cardinals winning the division. That's going to be nice.
I have a bigger one highlighted in green that keeps chugging along somehow. We'll talk about them later.
Who did I choose for the NFC West?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Liam, what's your hot take from the past week?
It's actually from the past couple weeks. I owe the man an apology. Russell Wilson has been cooking, and he's been cooking something good up in Pittsburgh, man. He's unlocked George Pickens. That was the only thing Justin Fields couldn't do, was make that connection, and Russ has unlocked it. They beat up a Commanders team who's been firing on all cylinders, and the Commanders had a lot of guys out, a lot of guys hurt, but a win is a win, and Russ played really well. This team is destined for a playoff spot, and we're going to see Russell Wilson back in the playoffs. Can't believe I'm saying that.
True's face tells you all you need to know with this, because Russell Wilson fall off, I feel like it's been True's prime. Like, True's been enjoying it.
Honestly, I just wanted him to not do well because he was on the Broncos, and we had their first round pick, but I don't prey on his downfall as much. And to Liam's point, I think we all agree we had our take on the Justin Fields benching, but putting that aside, Russell Wilson has infused a sort of calmness and consistency across the offense. There's a veteran presence. The moon ball is back, and it's looking beautiful like it was in Seattle. And then I think one of the things that just iterates the veteran presence is how they got the Commanders to jump on that 4th and 1. It does take a veteran or at least a competent QB to be able to do that. Not every QB in the league can do that. I think that's just what this team needed to get to the next level. Just that veteran presence. And, with that defense, anything could happen.
It's been wonderful to watch. They're kind of a fun team to watch. They're full, they're complete, their defense plays great, their offense plays great. It's like complimentary football. Mike Tomlin deserves a lot of credit. Like, he was getting calls to get his job fired going into the season of how BS his over 500 record was. But he's putting together probably his best coaching job of his career this year with what this team is and what Russell Wilson's become and Justin Fields has become for this first part of the season. Like, this is incredible to watch, and he's by far and away the front runner for Coach of the Year.
Absolutely.
George Pickens also had maybe one of the best catches I've seen. We've seen some pretty damn good catches this season, and that was a very good touchdown catch the other day.
I mean, I can't believe Russ was able to come in just kind of, sitting on his ass, riding pine, and he just comes in and immediately has this connection with Pickens that Fields couldn't do. It's really unlocked their offense. Already.
And
that's
Harris is playing better this year. Like Najee's playing good. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Liam, that point, I think that's an attribute to Russell Wilson. Again, I'm going to go to the professionalism because you saw in Seattle, he took his workouts in the offseason very seriously with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, developed him and those receivers had very good relationships, and that's why you saw Russell Wilson breaking records with Doug Baldwin, just going from receiver to receiver, and it just shows he takes his offseason seriously. And no surprise, Russell Wilson's 3-0 in his starts, and he's making George Pickens look like a top 10 receiver. So,
yeah,
it's just what he does. I guess I'll round it up with my take. I think we all agree, or we can agree, that last night was a hell of a football game. Sunday Night Football, Lions playing the Houston Texans in Houston, and Jared Goff had statistically one of the best 6-game stretches in NFL history coming into last night. And last night was a bit of a rude awakening with 5 interceptions. They threw some stat on the screen about teams that 5 interceptions still won the game, which is incredible that they were able to do that. But I think my take is that the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl just because, last year, of course, was a shock. They really made it onto the main stage. This year, they have more than showed that they're here to stay. But to handle such adversity like that and to grit and grind your way to a win, give credit to the defense, too. Defense without Aiden Hutchinson. The Texans did not score in the second half. Jared Goff was able to get himself composed, rely on the running game, feed St. Brown, get their playmakers opportunities. Dan Campbell doing what he does best. I just think the team finds so many ways to win football games, like we've said, but also the ability to come back, not get flustered and rattled. It screams the makings of a Super Bowl champion.
I completely agree, Truitt. This was, and I know we're going to hit on them in a second, this was a Kansas City Chiefs-esque win. Down and out in every way, but just close enough at every step of the game. Back your head like, oh, man, this isn't over. And I want to give a huge shout out to their kicker, Jake motherfucking Bates, man. The nuts on that kid, that rookie, come in and hit 2 was unbelievable. The city has a kicker. They have a QB. They have an offense and a defense. I think we're going to see them in the Super Bowl for sure.
I think you guys harp on the right team because I want to pick apart the offense, and I want to say there's problems here and there gets inconsistencies in the way they can't start drives, the way they can't finish drives, where this offense was really bad the first half, and to be honest, was pretty bad last week as well. But maybe they have the characteristics you're talking about. Maybe they are the Chiefs. Maybe they're those teams that no matter how bad they play, no matter how bad they will consistently win those games. And if you're a Lions fan, you have to start believing. There's certain teams out there in history. Me and Liam were part of a run for it this year in baseball, but maybe the Lions have that X factor that no matter what happens, they can find a way to win the game.
It's an exciting time, man. It's an exciting time. And Rank, I'm going to use that as a segue to to transition into the trade deadline that was last week. Lions obviously getting Darius Smith from the Browns, who more than capable of being sellers at this deadline to make up for the Aiden Hutchinson loss. I want to ask you guys, what is one of the best wins of the trade deadline in the NFL, and what was one of the more head-scratching moves?
The biggest win in my mind is D-Hop. The Chiefs got their number 1 wide receiver, and he's had an instant connection with Mahomes. Last week, he put up over 100 yards and a touchdown. He is that guy in the red zone. Mahomes can look to target, and it gives him another option on that offense that desperately needed it. He is a difference maker on this Chiefs team. Anybody who doubted this team, obviously, yesterday was a little shaky, but this team is here to stay, and they're looking for that three-peat, and they have to be the favorites to do it.
I don't know what type of witchcraft that they're doing in that locker room. I don't know what they're doing. They just win every week. They just win. It makes no sense.
Yeah, right. To your point.
But yeah, my favorite. Sorry.
No, you go.
You go,
You go.
Troy.
I was just gonna say D-Hop in that Monday Night Football game was just incredible.
Yeah, he was unreal.
Really a coming out party for him. Shows how bad they were in Tennessee, by the way, too. I thought his career was done.
They got a free Tony Pollard, man. Free Pollard. My favorite trade, and this one hurt a lot, but I think it's really benefit the team. Part of Marshawn Lattimore. End of an era for us Saints fans. We had arguably the best draft in NFL history when we drafted him, Kamara, Ramchick, Armstead. The list goes on and on. And he's gone, but I think he's really going to help that team and cement them as they look to win their division.
Yeah, I agree with you, Liam. I think Jaden Daniels is proving that they don't need to wait for a win now window. This is their window, and when you do that, you need to make win now moves, and that's what this was. And I really do feel bad for you because Marshawn Lattimore was kind of that guy on the Saints defense, and it's tough to see that.
Yeah, happy for him though. He can go win a chip.
In positive news, Liam, you're a massive salary cap deficit next year. Got a little smaller because of this, so that's always nice to see.
A little smaller.
A little smaller.
I'm going to give my head-scratching trade, and we're going to get into the next thing we'll talk about is the Bengals-Ravens game, and I'd love to dive into that two-point conversion with you guys. But the Bengals, fighting from the outside to get into the playoff race, especially in a tough division, go out and get Khalil Herbert from the Bears, and they asked Joe Burrow about it, and he was like, shows they're trying to win. Out of all the moves, if any move, that one was pretty confusing to me, especially because I think they have a good thing going on with Chase Brown and Zach Moss. And if you were going to make a move, I'm just kind of confused on why that was it. I don't think that was really the issue. Maybe go get some linemen for Joe Burrow. It's just kind of like, did they make that move just for the sake of making a move?
I think it was more of an insurance policy type thing. You can never have too many, I guess, somewhat reliable running backs, but true, you make a great point. The fact that they didn't go out and get a lineman is a head scratcher in itself.
In my mind, they went down a list of priorities and list of needs, and they realized they failed every single high priority. And they're like, okay, true. Like, let's just throw somebody at the wall. Like, yeah, congrats. Like, we did something. Like, true, I completely agree with you. Like, they wanted to say they did a move so that come the offseason, they're like, oh, well, why didn't you guys make any moves at the deadline? We're like, yeah, we did. We got Khalil Herbert, and that just didn't pan out, but we tried.
God, that sounds horrible.
So, Rick, you think it's just a GM trying to cover his ass? Is that what you're saying?
It's absolutely a GM covering his ass.
GM year-end review when he's pulled in by the owner. Look what I did.
We tried.
Yeah.
He had a couple other receivers move around. Amari Cooper, pretty sure that was a Liam Holloway fantasy member, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm praying it works out because it hasn't so far.
It will.
So.
It takes time to gel. Not everybody's D-Hop and Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, right. Not everybody's D-Hop.
I mean, but that
Not
should be a net
everybody's
win.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling either. I'll say that.
I'd like to shout out the Cowboys for their boneheaded move. It's not on this thing. But they traded for a wide receiver by the name of Jonathan Mingo from the Carolina Panthers, who was inactive this week. And that team is desperately in need of players and bodies at this point in the season. And they went out and got him. So there's a lot of thinking about Jerry Jones, and I feel like we should talk about that right now. But this was one of the boneheaded mistakes of this trade deadline.
That's another make a move for the sake of making a move, because I'm sure
Absolutely.
Jerry Jones felt the pressure, went the whole offseason without getting anybody, got Zeke. If he had gone the deadline without making any changes, like, it's already bad enough, but this is just like delusionally trying to save face. It really is.
Yeah. Can we talk about the Cowboys? Because I don't know if you guys
put up those curtains, Jerry. Put those curtains up, Jerry.
Have you ever seen a a star player criticize an owner for the way the stadium's been built? Like, this is ridiculous.
Dude, what a dysfunctional team, huh? Oh my God. I can't understand it for the life of me how they didn't let Trey Lance get a couple of competitive possessions.
Like
The
went
game's
into
already
game
over by
forward.
the time you trot him out. What are we doing?
If he's not the starter going into next week, like give him a full week of practice to like get assimilated with the offense, and then throw him out there because anything's better than Cooper Rush. How many times has Cooper Rush failed over the years to like? Why is he still a backup there?
If I was a Cowboys fan or just anyone connected to that franchise, I would be having panic attacks because there are teams that are supposed to be bad and are very bad. And then there are teams that are paying over $40 million to like 4 different players, one of the most famous franchises of all times, and hopefully trying to have aspirations based on the amount of money that you're committing to go out and make the playoffs. This has, outside the year that Dak tore his ACL, this has to be one of the worst Cowboy seasons we've seen in our lifetimes. Just from an expectations to reality, this is just horrible.
It definitely.
What an ass kick.
They're going to finish 3 and something, and it's going to be embarrassing. They have an owner who built a stadium with light problems. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, how do you not build a stadium better than you? Why is this an issue? This should not be an issue in a gorgeous stadium. It's been every year.
That was CD, right?
Yeah.
Ball right to the numbers. Just
and you see the replay, you can clearly tell like the light's directly in his eyes. Like he's got no chance of seeing that.
Yeah. No, it's just bad. That's tough. The Jonathan Mingo, that was a good. I forgot to put that on the list, right? But that is, I think he doesn't have like a career touchdown or maybe like one career touchdown or something, and it's
terrible.
They traded a 4th for him too. They traded more for Mingo than the Chiefs did for D-Hop.
Yeah,
and I think more than the Bills traded for Amari too. That's just horrible. Okay, so. We all saw what I thought was also a great Thursday night game, Bengals-Ravens. Bengals, and I'm going to put a take out here, and I want to get your opinion on it. Was that 2-point conversion the most important play of the season? I know you two are very strong, have very strong opinions on when to go for 2 and when not to. So they're now 4-6 because they lost that game after potentially tying it up and going for 2 for the win to avoid overtime. They did not get it. What is your reaction?
I mean, I still go for 2 there. I think you have to.
Yeah, I don't think the problem was the decision of to go for 2. Like I agree with Liam's philosophy. I am a big follower of Liam's go for 2 on the road philosophy. The play call and the lack of fouls called is where I have the problem. Like, why are you throwing the ball to your 3rd-string tight end? Is that what he is? Like, you have Jamar Chase, you have Mike Gesicki, you have guys in this offense who are really talented, and a play needs to be drawn up to get from the ball because I don't know how many times you see teams draw up these beautiful plays in the 2-yard line. How hard it is to get the ball 2 yards. It shouldn't be this hard.
Jamar Chase had one of the greatest games a wide receiver has ever had. And they can't throw him a jump ball. You throw him a jump ball, you live and die with that. He catches it or he doesn't, you live and die with that.
Well, and a Jamar Chase jump ball, there's a chance you get a PI too.
Yeah.
What, that moves it to the 1? Maybe you run it in or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything better than
idiotic. I'll say this though. The AFC, a lot of spots are open for those wild card spots. The Bengals, pretty easy schedule coming forward. They face the Steelers twice. Need to win one of those games. Outside of that, they really should win every single one of their games.
Cowboys,
We'll
Titans,
see what this Bengals
Browns.
team is made of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what this Bengals team is made of, huh?
Is this team, like, if you're a fan of the Bengals, like, you're a true Cincinnati Bengals fan. Like, I like the Bengals, but I'm not a true Cincinnati Bengals fan. Like, do you have to be frustrated year in, year out, the amount of off-season, like, talking points and holdouts and injuries and things like that, and every single year they seem to not have a good September, and this really comes to bite them in the butt. Like, if you had started off not 0-3, a loss like this wouldn't mean as much, but since you started 0-3, this means everything to you. and it really is just disappointing for a team that's got so much talent.
No, Rank, you hit it on the head. Ever since they made it to the Super Bowl, they have just started the season horribly and been playing catch up the entire NFL season, which with such a brief season it is, with so few games, it's a very hard position to be in. Also in a very tough division with Steelers and Ravens, who are guaranteed lock-in playoff spots. I would be frustrated too, Rank. There's a lot of talent on this team, and you're just digging yourselves into greater and greater holes. And not even the greatest teams sometimes can dig their way out of big holes. You know, you need to win games. Every game matters in the NFL. So I agree with you, Rank. I'd be pretty furious because it's not like this core is, going to be younger anytime soon.
Yeah. And they've had the same problem year after year. Have not had enough protection for Joe Burrow, and they have not done anything to fix it.
Yeah.
And there's a list of teams in the NFL that have the same problem year in and year out and have failed to fix it. Like, this is ridiculous.
It's kind of insane. Liam alluded to it earlier. Let's dive into that Chiefs. What we all thought was going to be a Chiefs loss, and then some satanic rituals must have happened at halftime for them to be able to. Before I let you guys go, has anyone seen the meme where it's from one of the Harry Potters where Snape is like in the crowd, like whispering spells, and they zoom in and they say Taylor Swift like whispering his spells on the Broncos kicker. Anyways, yes, please go.
I picked the Chiefs to go undefeated this season. That was my preseason hot take, and we were sitting here 9-0, and I don't know where this first loss is coming. You look at the schedule, and yes, there are games that they're going to be competitive in and things like that, but this team just finds a way to continuously win games. Like, you can never count this team out. You can never count the season over. It's not pretty. These are not pretty games to watch. They're not pretty games to win, but they don't care. And that's what this Chiefs team is so good and why they're going to be undefeated and win out the rest of the season.
7 of their games have been decided by 1 score or less. 7-0 in those games, obviously. Will they ever lose again? Are they ever going to lose?
It's just win by any means possible. That's just how it is. And if it comes down to a blocked field goal, it comes down to a blocked field goal. And it's pretty damn incredible. They have the Bills, Panthers, Raiders are wins, Chargers probably a win, Browns win, the Texans and the Steelers, and then the Broncos again. So I'd go, if we're just being conservative here, the Bills, Texans, and Steelers will be the biggest chances for them to lose. Does it happen? Rank, are you still strong on your undefeated prediction?
I can't back down now, and they've done it. Like, how could you not have faith in them? Like, we've talked to this year in, year out. Like, how can you not pick the team to win, like, every single game?
Every time we fade the Chiefs, they prove us wrong every single time. I'm with Rankle here. There's not a world in which they lose.
Except 2 weeks ago, Liam faded the Chiefs on Monday Night Football and somehow won that one. But the Chiefs still did end up winning the game. They just didn't cover.
Yeah.
I do want to briefly shout out Bo Nix, though. Like, he is, he's not going to get the flowers that Daniels or Caleb are going to get, but he's played very well. You know, it was a rough start to the season for him, and he's actually shown a lot of poise, especially for an older guy. There was a couple big 4th down calls where they had to convert to keep the game going, and he delivered. So they're not going to remember that because they didn't win the game, but just wanted to throw the flowers out there for him.
Out of the just fun little thing, out of the 4 rookie quarterbacks who have played time this year, Drake May, Jane Daniels, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, how do you rank those 4 out of only thinking about their actual performances this year?
Well, I think Jaden Daniels definitely number 1. Bo Nix definitely number 2.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that take.
It's got to be Drake May than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams obviously has been in a terrible situation and a lot of things you can't blame on him, but like he's looked the worst out of the 4 rookie quarterbacks this season.
100%.
I really thought you were going to flip those 2 at the end. Huh, okay. No, I don't hate Drake.
Well, Drake May just shit all over Caleb Williams, so
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
16 to 3 is not really much of a shitting on, but yeah.
I mean, putting up 3 points, pretty pathetic. Pretty bad.
I want to pivot to the NFC East. We have a great game on Thursday, and I don't remember who we chose. Maybe Rank, you have it pulled up somewhere. I don't remember who he chose for the NFC East, Rankel's own division. Maybe he chose the Giants. Who knows? But it's going to come down to a two-man race, the Eagles and the Commanders, which I didn't think was going to be the case. Again, a big game Thursday night between the two. I think we have to repick or just keep the same pick. Who is going to win this division?
So I pulled it up right now. NFC division leaders, we're all kicking ourselves in the butt right now. We all picked Cowboys.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's pathetic.
God.
Oh gosh.
A lot of these takes won't age well, but anyway,
fuck. Damn it.
I'm going to pick the Commanders. I cannot pick the Eagles. The Commanders are more fun. I will say the one thing that scares me is a sort of stat today, and I will put them on Fraud Watch. They're 7-0 against below 500 teams and 0-3 against above 500 teams, which we talked about the Dolphins and Cowboys like that last year. You made the playoffs, but can you do anything in the playoffs with playing like that? We'll see what it comes. This is a big game for them. This really shapes their season in my mind.
Liam, who do you have?
I'm rocking with my commies, boy. I'm rocking with my commies.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Commanders too. The Eagles, I will give them a lot of credit, have looked good, mostly because they've made life easier for Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley looks very good. Sorry, Rank, that backwards hurdle is just something that maybe two people on this planet can do. A.J. Brown looks good. The defense is playing okay. I will give them a lot of credit because I poo-pooed on them very early in the season. But also the Commanders, I think their offense is very dynamic. You have Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, Scary Terry, and then obviously getting Marshawn Lattimore boost that defense a lot. I think the Commanders will edge them out. But Rank, that's a good stat though for the fraud. I was not aware of that stat, and that's a good thing to keep in mind. And we'll see if that holds up, I guess, this week.
Yeah, you gotta give the Eagles credit. They're playing really well. I'm curious to see how good they can play with a real head coach because Nick Sirianni is a piece of crap. But they're finding a way to win games.
Did we talk about how he yelled at the fans? Yelled at his own fans during a win? Was that last week or was that 2 weeks ago?
I think 2 weeks ago.
The guy is just, if we're gonna give Philly credit, they're tough, and Nick Sirianni is not mentally tough. He's kind of a wuss and a little bit of a baby, and he got rattled by Eagles fans in the crowd during a win, which is just that's not really the Philly way actually at all. That's kind of just being a pussy. So, yeah, there I said it.
People get rattled by Eagles fans. That's kind of the only defense I have for him. Speaking about fraud alert, I think the Minnesota Vikings are the biggest frauds in the NFL.
Oh no.
Gifted, absolutely gifted 2 wins these past couple weeks. Sam Darnold has dropped way back down to earth. He's played like garbage, and they've still managed to win because they're playing terrible teams. The Jaguars basically handed that on a silver platter, to be quite honest. They shoveled Mac Jones. He was throwing picks for fun out there. That's all I got to say. That's all I got.
Rankle.
I hate to say this because you guys know I like the Vikings. I like Sam Darnold. But are the Vikings the biggest fraud franchise in the past 10 years?
Oh, my God.
Finally,
how many years
the light.
have we talked about this team being like 9-2, 6-4, 7-3, like a playoff spot? And then they either don't make the playoffs and get destroyed by Daniel Jones and the Giants, which came out as probably the worst loss any team's ever suffered in the history of NFL football. But like, yeah, I hate to say it, but yes, Liam, I would say the Vikings are frauds.
I can't believe my ears right now. I've been saying this every single year. Oh man, Rankle, that made my week, man. That just made my week.
I sat in front of the TV this week and watched Vikings Jaguars for the little bit I could actually stomach, and it's just like I can't spend another week talking about this team positively.
Why did you do that to yourself?
Getting get Sam Darnold some love.
With the way those QBs, dude, there was a lot of interceptions this week in football.
Oh my gosh. We got to talk
There was
about Josh Allen and Joe Flacco were having a turnover battle.
Yeah. There was a lot of turnover battles last night. Mac Jones, Sam Darnold. The only thing that would have made it better is that Geno Smith had played, but unfortunately we had a bye. I can't believe Rank just said that. That's crazy.
Finally, man.
I've
I'm
become
gonna
more
convert you
realistic in
to
my old
it.
age.
You'll see the light soon, Truitt. You'll see the light soon, my friend.
I think the last question I have before I turn it over to any other outstanding NFL items. I just feel like there wasn't a lot of buzz on the Jets this week, and they had a pretty bad loss. Is this? Are we just putting a close on this season for them?
This was a classic good team versus bad team matchup, and we saw what happened. Jets are a bad team on all fronts. Their defense has completely fallen apart. Aaron Rodgers, what a mistake that was to bring him in and give him this team. And the Devontae Adams trade has completely been nullified.
Wow.
I mean, everything has gone wrong for them.
Sure, I want to give you credit because you were ahead of your time. You said a couple weeks ago, were the Jets better than Zach Wilson? And sort of stat today, over the past 3 seasons, their first 10 games, they've gone from 6-4 to 5-5 to 3-7. They have continuously gotten worse with 2 years of Zach Wilson and 1 year of Aaron Rodgers. And you cannot tell me this team is not better than the teams were with Zach Wilson. Like, the team on paper is so good. Like, Aaron Rodgers is the huge problem here. There's a culture issue that stems all the way to the top of this team. They are the same old Jets. And I feel really sorry for Jets fans because this felt like the first year where this finally could turn around. The past 2 years, and they've had 2 miserable years. I'm not sure which was yours worse. Was last year worse when Aaron Rodgers got hurt the first game of the season, you like gave up all hope? Or was this watching your team slowly burn with so much talent on this team?
I would say this is worse because at least last year you could think, all right, we have next year. We didn't even get to see Aaron Rodgers yet. This year you've seen it and it's pooping.
Yep. And they will finish with less wins than they did last year.
Yeah.
I just feel bad because they always said they were quarterback away. I understand now why Robert Saleh defended Zach Wilson so much the last 2 years. Like he defended him in the media so much, and I mean, he was also mean to him in the media too, but that's not a hero in there.
My other favorite meme of the Jets is the meme of from The Office, and it's 2 guys shaking hands, and it's the Jets with the highest expectations in 20 years, and the Patriots with the lowest expectations in 20 years, both 3-7.
Really?
So fitting.
That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah, these are some of the worst career marks for Aaron Rodgers in his career. I think it's fair the season's over. Even though we just said like there's a lot of spots in the AFC still up for grabs, they will not be contending for any of them.
When we're looking at playoff spots in the AFC, right now it's Ravens, Chargers, Broncos having those last 2 wildcard spots. And then it's the Colts and the Bengals, and then the Jets. I think it's hard for the Jets to jump those teams.
It's insane that they still have a path. It's absolutely insane.
They're 2 games out of a playoff spot, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also this season has been a roller coaster. Like opening night, getting blown out by the Niners. You have a couple good wins, Devontae Adams comes over. It's horrible. And then who did they beat where they came back from behind and had that win during a
Texans.
primetime game? Texans? Yeah. And
Last
then
week.
you thought, yeah. And then you thought, okay, this could be the sign of something. And then just horrible last. It's just been a roller coaster of mediocrity.
No more words about the Jets.
Sorry, I didn't mean to end the NFL segment on such a sad note, but
Positive news.
I want to say something. You know what really pisses me off? What really pisses me off? We fucking shit all over the Falcons and Dirty Birds. We snatch Kirk's chain, and at the end of the game, Derek Carr has the balls to go on television and say, "Oh, this win was for Dennis Allen. He was a part of this."
really, I didn't see that.
Are you kidding me? Derek Carr should be hung in the streets for that. It is absolutely loser behavior, and I've had enough. I'm so fed up. I'm so fed up.
That is not a good way to be the leader of a team under a new head coach. That is a really poor way to do that. I didn't know he did. That's ooh.
Derek Carr's really had a roller coaster of the year from Liam's new savior to start the season, and then this might be the new low point.
Benedict Arnold. Let's move on. Also, fuck the Falcons. Just want that on record. Yeah.
Quick Monday Night Football update before we get into the NBA. The Dolphins are up 7-0, 5 minutes into the game.
God!
Screw you.
My bad, bro. My bad.
Who the
NBA.
hell- Malik Washington scored for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it does not help my fantasy team or anybody's fantasy teams for that matter. So,
Who?
F the Dolphins.
We are 2 weeks and change into the NBA season, 2024-2025 NBA season, and there have been some very interesting things that happened. A lot of teams outperforming, a lot of teams underperforming. We're just going to go through some major headlines, and we'll start with you two surprise of the NFL season and disappointment. So, NBA season and disappointment. I know we're so early in it, but what have you seen?
I will start with my surprise. It's not really my surprise, but it's going to be your guys' surprise. That's why I'm including them here. The Golden State Warriors. They have gotten better without Klay Thompson. They are a younger team, more electric. Steph Curry seems to be playing out of his mind. They are rejuvenated, re-sparked, re-enthused. This is the Warriors team from a couple years ago when they beat the Celtics in the NBA Finals. Like, this team has energy like that team did. This team is going to be fun to watch, dangerous to become. And this Western Conference that we all talked about last week is not as good as it seems. The Warriors are up there for a top 4 seed, home court advantage going into the playoffs.
Are you going to bookmark that, Rank? Are you
Yeah, you can
saying
bookmark
that?
this right now. Bookmark it.
Somebody clip that.
Our intern's on it, don't worry.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Ray, you deserve to gloat all you want about this because the Warriors are 8-2 and it's been an electric start. They have 6 guys scoring over 9 points a game. It's a very well-rounded affair. Curry is only averaging 22 points, a very efficient 22 points. But like you said, you have guys stepping out. You got Hield, Wiggins, Kuminga, Moody, all almost in double figures. It's a weird team because for a while they've gone through periods where they've been like, okay, 3 guys can beat you. Easier said than done, but just stop those 3 guys. It's a different team. And like you said, Rank, 2022 vibes for sure.
Anything positive about the Warriors name?
No, they're playing great. They're young guys. Shout out Jackson Davis. He's been hooping. Wiggins, okay. Andrew Wiggins is such an enigma to me. Some days he looks like he could be a top 10 player in the NBA, and other days he doesn't know how to play basketball. It doesn't make any sense. But I guess he'll figure it out for them more times than he doesn't.
Liam, what's your surprise team to start the season?
Surprise team to start the season. I guess it falls under disappointment, but it's not really much of a surprise to me or you guys, I think. The Philadelphia 76ers being so butt. Man, it makes me so happy. Paul George might be one of the most overrated players in the NBA. Hasn't really done anything if you look at his resume. They acted like getting him was going to cement them in championship talks. I know they haven't played together. Embiid's out here shoving reporters and doing everything but playing. PG taking step-back game winners, shitting himself in the fourth quarter like usual. It's been awesome to watch. It really has been.
What trying to find what stat did I have today, guys? The only 12 teams have ever started 1-6 and made the playoffs out of 150 teams that have ever started 1-6. They're gonna be my disappointment team, so I won't spoil what the other team is. That's one started 1-6, but the Sixers, yeah, it's not looking good at all. Embiid is yet to play. Do want to say the Thunder do have their first round pick this year, so I'm a little excited by this. It is top 6 protected, so if those fuckers tank all the way to the first pick, I'll probably go on a killing spree. Just kidding, YouTube. Just kidding. Yeah, but this is always good to see.
Gonna edit that part out.
But you should know how I truly feel.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch the Sixers lose in embarrassing fashion. Small shout out to Jarrett McCain, who put up 20 points last night. He's actually been playing pretty well for this team, who desperately need talent. But somebody called this team the new Clippers of the East, and this can't be more right. They're a team
Oh, I wonder why. Who do they have on their roster that would
constantly injured and gonna just fight to make the playoffs and see if they can do something in the playoffs. And I think we saw that it doesn't work with the Clippers, so I'm not sure why it would work with Embiid and Paul George together, but we'll wait and see about that one.
Yeah, I feel like this is a perfect segue into another team in the East that is completely falling apart. Drew, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, they were going to be my disappointment of the season, and it is another team that started 1-6, the Milwaukee Bucks, led by Dumb and Dumber of Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers. Also led by Giannis and Dame, who probably don't speak to each other when they're off the court, because I haven't seen worse chemistry in a long time, since I was in high school. And yeah, this team is screwed. They are screwed. We have talked about it so many times. They blew up a great core, and I thought maybe another offseason would help them, but this team just has a trajectory that is very dangerous, and we're talking about Giannis trade rumors. It's a crazy time.
I'd like you guys to name me one team that blew up their core and actually succeeded.
The Clippers, current day Clippers.
They've succeeded?
Yep, PG out, Norman Powell minutes and stock up.
Okay.
Yeah, but
No,
it didn't work with the
I don't
Nets.
know, right?
Didn't work with the Nets, didn't work with the Clippers, didn't work with the Lakers right now. The Knicks seem to have taken a step back to an extent.
No, it just doesn't work, and it's weird when teams willingly do it. Like a lot of times, the Nuggets core is kind of falling apart through free agency, but it's weird when teams willingly blow up their core.
Exactly. Like when the Suns made the finals and then decided just to blow up that team. It didn't make any sense then. Same thing.
Does Giannis get traded this season?
I asked
I'm
this
gonna
question
say
last
no.
week.
I'm going to say no.
The answer
Off-season
is,
trade.
I agree with Liam. I agree with him. It's no, but will be this offseason.
Yes.
Oh.
It's hard to make a blockbuster trade like this in the middle of the season. We've seen it happen more recently. I think Dame gets moved at the trade deadline. Giannis gets moved in the offseason.
And then they full rebuild.
Yeah. Which is
Problem is
crazy
they
for a
have
small
no
market
first.
team like this to just get
They
one
have
championship.
no first.
They're really lucky they played that Suns team in that NBA Finals and got that one ring. Because if we're talking about this team without a ring with Giannis, and It's just historical busts and historical ridiculous.
We're having very different conversations if Giannis does not have a ring at this point in his career.
Yeah.
We are having extremely different, maybe some Embiid type conversation. Say it, but that might be a little too mean. But
no, I agree with you. I've always thought Giannis was overrated, and I think that would, if he didn't have a ring, give me more fuel to fire.
So you're saying Dame and Giannis at different points are traded. What happens if whatever you get back for Dame can make the team better?
Who is giving anything back for Dame to make this team better?
What are you getting back for Dame?
Yeah, that was dumb.
Dame hasn't proven to be a winner at any capacity ever in his career.
No, yeah.
Traded the Heat. You get Jaime Jaquez in a first. Did the Heat even do that?
I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't know if surrounding Giannis with young players really changes your trajectory all that much.
No. Rangle hit the nail on the head. It doesn't make sense why teams, they win, they show that they can be competitive, and they completely pivot. And Jimmy Butler, man.
Yeah.
That guy is just, he's a wrecking crew. Imagine if the Celtics blew it up because of what Jimmy Butler did to them. Imagine if they just traded Jaylen Brown.
Just wouldn't make sense,
Essentially the same thing they did with Jrue Holiday, right?
Yeah. Well, and even before that, they had one down year for their standards and thought, okay, Mike Budenholzer, let's get him out of here. Yeah. The guy who designed a perfect scheme for Giannis, Middleton, Jrue, and Brook Lopez. And outside of Jrue Holiday, those three guys, it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to get them to play well together. Those are very unique guys. Jrue Holiday can kind of play with anybody, but you're just going to fire that guy?
And guess what happens since he's been fired? The Bucks have slowly but surely been getting worse in every facet. All those guys. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I'm not too upset. I'm not too upset about their downfall, if I'm being quite honest. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's just weird. And I know our name has been in a lot of the rumors. I really don't want to trade for Giannis. I think that he's the type of guy you got to build a system around, and you'd have to give up one of Chet and Jalen Williams. You'd have to probably got the roster. I'm not a huge fan of that concept. It's a lot of money to.
I don't think that helps your future at all. And you guys are very much a now and future team. That makes sense.
How long is Chet for?
So Chet got injured last night after we had an 8-2 start. Chet is now out for 8 to 10 weeks with an iliac fracture. I didn't even know what that was. Apparently it's something in your pelvic. I have already DM'd Chet to offer up my own pelvic region, but he didn't take it. We are supposed to get Hartenstein back. He should make his season debut in 6 weeks, but we are without a center for a long time. We are missing our center, our backup center, our backup center in Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams. We are not – this is not good.
You just got to weather the storm. This team is too talented to trade odd assets for a plug-in center. I think Liam was saying that, but Chet seems to have per his Instagram post, it seemed like he's done this before and he knows the recovery timeline of this. So that's positive, and playoffs are on the mind. That's what matters most, and he's got to get there.
Yeah, true. All they got to do is make the playoffs. It's all that matters, and I think they will be more than fine. And Dagnall is a super smart guy. We're going to see small ball pushed to its limits in these coming weeks, and it's going to be incredible. So
I'm thinking
it sucks. You got some stuff to look forward to still. You're going to see a lot of players do different things.
You're right. And it's saddening because Chet was having a very good start to the season in year two. But yeah, I'm thinking we see some 2020 Rockets some poor soul's gonna be our PJ Tucker and play the 5, and we're gonna go crazy 5-out offense.
It's gonna be fun.
Alex Caruso, number 5.
Could do it.
That's a good candidate.
There's a reason why you traded for the man, right? Let's
wild.
test that new toy out, huh?
The only problem is you're kind of gonna give yourself up to, do we just drop these games where we play the Nuggets, the Sixers when Embiid's playing, any team with just a dominant center, the T-Wolves, Knicks, like, are we just gonna – they're just going to feed them inside the whole time, you know? And I don't know what you do there.
Outscore them.
I've seen some ideas online where we have a lot of first-round picks. Maybe we just go throw a first-rounder and, hey, can we borrow Steven Adams for the season? Have him play until Chet comes back. I mean, we got a couple expendable first-rounders, you know?
I think the Rockets would happily take that.
Yeah, I think that would really help. I mean, no spacing, but it's kind of like getting a Hartenstein in a way.
You guys want Dwight Powell?
No, thank you. No, thank you. Appreciate it.
The injury bug is also kind of up to us. It's not fun.
What has gone into the Mavs' slow start to the season?
PJ and Lively have missed, I think, 4 games now, and Luka's been playing through an injury, and it's quite obvious. I mean, he's playing the worst. Something with his groin. He's been playing the worst I've ever seen him play.
Jason Kidd seemed pissed the other night.
Yeah, I don't know. That Nuggets game, that last shot was just idiotic. Inexcusable when Kyrie's been cooking, but I don't know. Missing Lively, true. Like you miss key guys, you know, you're not going to do as well. We're having Dwight Powell getting huge minutes and Spencer Dinwiddie getting huge minutes. It's not a recipe for success.
Well, the tough thing about that is the problem that the Mavs, when they do have problems throughout Luka's career, is just can the defense do as well as the offense can do? And PJ and Lively, I would say, are 2 guys that contribute heavily to your defense. So you're kind of just running into the same problems that the Mavs had in the early years of Luka's career, where they can't outscore the opponent every night. Kyrie had 43 against the Nuggets and lost. You know, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Got to win the winnable games.
Frank, let's talk about your Celtics. Looking for a real title defense here. Real good one.
There's not much to say more about the Celtics team because they consistently, game in, game out, have just played the same way they did last year. Like, they're consistently blowing teams out, win games they have to. Like, it is a fun team to watch. They're playing great basketball. We saw this since night 1 when they almost put the record up on the Knicks. Like, this team, top to bottom, we'll say every year is the best team in basketball. Like, their depth, their shot making ability. Peyton Pritchard's been playing even better than he was last year. Like, it's a scary, scary team to watch. And I'm not sure if they're negative odds to win the NBA Finals, but they probably should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has that ever been a thing?
The right rank. I mean, Frank, I can't disagree with you in any way. Like, it's next man up for them. And shout out Derek White. I know we give him a lot of praise. The dude's unbelievable. I love that man.
Dude is crazy. Like, he deserves a big contract. He's a glue guy. The Celtics are a bunch of stars, a bunch of glue guys around him, and these glue guys play out of their mind.
Yeah. If Tatum didn't take those 5 to 10 done shots a game, I think you guys, no, it's crazy to say. But the Celtics are never out of a game, that's for sure.
I'm really excited. I've heard that Rob Pelinka is going to go join the Celtics and he's going to go blow up your core. So
he will stay far away.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited.
Far away.
They got 2 to 3 years, and then those contracts start to kick in, and they will be fine. We'll be okay.
Yes.
That's fine. I will enjoy these
clouds will part and the sun will come back.
Yes, true.
Rank, I want to ask you, I'm always hot on this team. Liam's sometimes hot on this team. The Cleveland Cavs are looking pretty good. Only undefeated team left in the league. 11-0. Are you scared? Be honest, Rank.
we've had the same conversation since we've been in college, and I will forever say I'm never terrified of this Cavs team until they do the playoffs.
How many times have they been 11-0 when we've had this conversation?
Sure, this feels like the reverse of like LeBron and the Hawks, or LeBron and the Raptors. It's the Celtics and like the Cavs. The Cavs are that baby team that can never beat the Cavs, the Celtics in the playoffs. Like this is what it feels like.
It's such a good analogy. I hate that.
They said the lights were too bright last year. I'm not going to believe it. No. Sorry, Truitt. It's cool. They're on a great wave, but nah.
You even play them last year? They got knocked out by like the Knicks 2 years ago, and last year they got knocked out by. I guess we played them in the second round, but like they didn't even reach us half the time.
You know what's sad is like the Cavs are gonna like maybe they'll finish as the 1 seed, and then it's gonna be like when LeBron played the Raptors, like the year they had the best record in franchise history and just swept them. But it's gonna be the Celtics doing it. It's just God, you just painted that picture in my mind, right? It's gonna happen.